T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. I'm Lugs.
I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
Yes, sir. It's March Madness is over. We'll talk about that. We have two champions, men's and women's. Plus, the NFL draft is just a few weeks away. Lots of questions, a few answers. We'll try to bring that all to you tonight. But Lugs here, I'm going to start with you. March Madness. Here we go. Okay, with UConn, University of Connecticut winning its fifth NCAA tournament championship. Are they indeed a blue blood? Yes or no? Take it away. Lugs.
Yeah, I would say yes, of course. But I've got to say that final game was the most anticlimactic finish to any March Madness I've ever seen. There was no doubt. I mean, it was just like, no way could they stop it. It was crazy. And what's crazy is Danny, what's his name?
Hurley. Bobby's brother.
He was doing high school like a couple of years ago, wasn't he? I mean, it's pretty wild how quickly they built that team. But I think it shows you with transfer portal, NIL, whatever. No number one seeds made it. No blue bloods. It's all the new bloods.
Ooh, I like that.
So anyway, that was entertaining. What do you think, Dog, about the men's?
The men's game, just kind of like what you said, UConn just smothered SDSU. I mean, the Aztecs, they shot 32%, field goal percentage, 26% from three, blocked 6 times, where it had their pockets picked 8 times. Essentially like 3 guys really kind of stood out for UConn. Adama Songo with 17 points, 10 rebounds. I mean, he was just a load on the blocks. And again, this kind of goes back to Tim Drew. That's the one part of the NBA that's kind of disappeared that I really do enjoy watching.
You mean Drew Timmy? Drew Timmy.
Thank you. Sorry, I got that.
That juxtaposition.
Sorry, I got it flip-flopped. He and also just, of his 10 rebounds, 5 of them were offensive because, again, he just kept it alive for them. And, underrated because this is in the stat sheet. You go back and watch, like, a lot of his picks on the perimeter opened up wide open 3-point and, outer edge shots for the team just because his body is so wide.
He's a beast.
Yeah. So, and just Tristan Newton was their guy, just slashing to the basket, 19 points, 10 rebounds. And Jordan Hawkins, I just want to give him a big shout out because San Diego State started to really kind of close it in and got it within 5, but his 3 to put him up 63-55, that was it. And that was the death blow to the Aztecs. And the last thing I just want to say, UConn was impressive the whole tournament. They won by an average of 20 points. So just, hats off to the Huskies. Just dominant throughout, was really impressive.
But Lugs, didn't you want San Diego State or Florida Atlantic to at least win at some point? Did you say, that'd be cool? Or would that destroy the whole concept of Jim Nance's last game? Did you catch all that? Okay, what did you think? Yeah.
Well, I would have backed Florida Atlantic. I like those guys a lot. San Diego State, not so much. I don't know why. I guess because they don't have any offense. If they had any offense at all, they would have been competitive because defensively they're really good. And as far as it being Jim Nance's last, Jim Nance is not going away, friends. I mean, he's doing the Masters right now.
Yeah.
That was his last
tournament.
NCAA tournament. But so we're told if he gets called back. But anyway, Yeah, I wish FAU had gotten it. That would have been a real corker right there. But on the other side, with the women's,
Yeah.
those games were exciting. I mean, that, just that final game, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Iowa, I'm telling you, those are some players. And I was impressed. I watched a number more women's basketball than I ever have before. And I was totally impressed by they run their sets, they make shots. It was just impressive. I think it was by far their games, the last three major games, were much more interesting than the men's. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, I think the thing that was interesting about both finals was they were both one team kind of dominating, but in different ways. UConn with their defense, LSU. I mean, we're talking about a
What
team
the heck?
just being efficient on offense. They shot 64% from 3-point range
Ridiculous.
for the game. Both teams combined scored 25 threes. Going into the game, their bench player, Jasmine Carson, she scored 11 points in the tournament.
Yeah.
In the first half alone in the finals, she scored 21.
Yeah.
It just that was the big difference in the game. Was mainly because of Jasmine Carson. The LSU outscored them 30-8 in terms of bench points. Caitlin Clark, you got to give her credit for how awesome she was this whole tournament. And clearly she is Curry level shooter. I mean, she's taken 2 steps past the halfway point
Right.
and just jacking up shots, and it's just hitting nothing but net. Good God.
Launching them from the March Madness logo.
She made
routinely.
9 field goals. 8 of them were from 3. She was 8 of 19 from 3. I mean, and on top of it, she had 8 assists. So she was also being a playmaker too. But again, credit to Angel Reese.
Yeah.
I know her numbers aren't overwhelming, but it's only because she played 29 minutes because of the iffy ref calls in terms of like getting almost all the important players in foul trouble in the second quarter.
Or foul them out. Let's just get rid of all of them.
Yeah.
Let's go 9 deep and play everybody. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, but I just want to give her Angel Reese because, I mean, you want to talk about an impressive stat for the year. She averaged 23 points, 15 rebounds a game for the year.
Highest ratings for women's. One of the stats I love so much, the Final Four, or at least the Elite Eight for sure, take any one of those games, they had higher ratings than any current this year NBA game on ESPN, regular season. Any of those women's games, higher ratings than NBA. That says a lot to me.
I think just because all those games mean more. I mean, that's the problem with the NBA, and I probably on a night out basis, I think it's more exciting. I think the fans are more into it. Obviously, I think the players are more into it. I mean, not to completely veer it down an NBA problem. I just think the season's so long.
Yeah.
That just, they're just trying to get to the playoffs. So, like, it is kind of just like going through the motions to some extent.
And they threw up a stat. You mentioned Caitlin Clark. This one is what caught my eye. Her average distance on those three-pointers is 25 feet. That's average. So that means some are longer than that. Lugs, UK, Louisville, Indiana, they could all use her. Is she available? Eligibility? Come on, man. Let's go.
Well, we'll see. At this point, I think
Purdue, maybe Purdue could use her. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, Purdue. Yeah.
Well, U of L, they could use any help that they can get a hold of at this point. Although they've apparently got some folks coming in the portal that could lift them up above 4-win season. So,
and before we jump on to the NFL, one note: how do you feel about Jim Nance? Right, final tournament. Iron Eagle takes over Chair 1, probably with Spanarkel as your A team for the NCAA tournament. How do you feel about that one?
I'm good with it.
They've already announced it.
they're just sort of vanilla, which is what Nance was. I mean, there's no, push in either of those guys either. You don't get any Clark Kellogg squeeze the orange, that kind of stuff. You just don't. You don't have that kind of oomph from, say, Barkley. But
Raftery,
it'll
though,
be
man.
fine.
What does he always say? Tinkles the twinkles the twine, or what does he always say?
Yeah.
Kiss off the glass.
Kiss off the glass. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss Raftery.
You think
Like,
he's out
that's a-
too?
that's
I don't
a
know.
loss.
Yeah.
I wonder.
That's the loss is
I agree.
Raftery. I mean, Raftery again, like he had so much excitement, and I think he is a wordsmith. Like I said, I think I've said before on this. When Marcus Visor, I want to say it was Marcus Visor. He backed a guy down. He's like he said he had a backside that could move continents. It's like that's what I want, a guy to paint a word picture in my mind. So I am gonna miss Raftery. I don't. None of us are the biggest fans. I don't know about the biggest fan of Jim Nance. I think he does a good job. I think it's one of those weird things where to kind of become a national broadcaster, it feels like a lot of times you just got to be, just like warm milk. Like it's just, it's okay.
Soothing.
It's all right. Yeah, it's soothing. Maybe not great.
He
but
doesn't
it's
make mistakes. You have to say that. I don't ever remember. But he's been doing that for 32 years. So he was 31 when he got that gig, if you can imagine. And had worked alongside guys like Dick Enberg and people like that who are long gone. But Nance, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm with you. Not the biggest fan, but okay. I guess he'll still have the Masters and NFL, of course. So we'll see him. We won't lose him. Speaking of, you ready to move on to the draft? Should we? Yeah, shall we? Okay. Let's talk about it. It's April 27th coming up. T-Dog, you had some ideas you wanted to talk about for the coming teams that are high in the draft. Where are we at here? We missed a week.
We missed a week. So what we're going to do, we're going to double up.
Double down.
To do it, we'll do two teams. One, there's 4 questions. There's 2 teams. So we'll do both teams with the same question. So number 5 is the Seahawks. The number 4 overall pick is the Colts. Should either of those teams draft a quarterback?
Both should draft quarterbacks.
No,
Okay.
Seahawks have Geno. Colts definitely need somebody if that's not going to be Lamar.
Yes.
Or Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones could help him out, and it's obvious the hoodie wants rid of Mac Jones because Mac Jones spoke out of school.
Oh, we'll get to that. But I think the Seahawks should draft one, but they do have another pick in the first round. So maybe because again, I know we keep bringing this up because it is going to be actually a shadow over this draft. There are 2 possible franchise level quarterbacks in next year's draft. They maybe trade one of their picks this year to get a higher pick next year. Maybe they flip that second pick. I think with this 5th pick, unless they really like Levis or Richardson, and I don't even know if Richardson's going to be there, they have to really like Levis. If not, I say, they don't take a quarterback with the 5th pick. But maybe they like Hayden Hooker. Maybe they take him with their 2nd pick. I don't know. So next one, free agency. Is there anything you like that they did free agency wise? Anybody you think they should type of skill they're still missing from their team before they go into the draft?
Free agency for Seattle.
Either one. Like, do you like a player that they got? Is there a player or a position you think they need to kind of address just to have a guy there going into the draft?
Well, I was just going to say that free agency wise, again, Indianapolis, man, they've sort of boxed themselves into a corner. I mean, who's left really? I mean, obviously the Jets are lining up everything for Rodgers, so Rodgers isn't going to be available. So who's left for them quarterback free agency wise?
We lost him. Where'd he go?
That's going to be tough. And Seattle free agency, I just am I there? Hello?
Yeah, you're here. You're here.
Come in. You're
like,
here. Yeah, you're there. Go ahead.
All right.
All right. T-Dog, I'll say that. Go ahead.
free agency, Seattle.
Yes? Okay, T-Dog, here's the quarterbacks. What about any of these guys? Carson Wentz, Teddy Bridgewater. They're all out there waiting for you. Matt Ryan.
Who?
Matt Ryan.
For the Colts just got rid of Matt Ryan. They're not going to pick
They're not
Matt
going to take
Ryan.
him back.
Yeah, no, they have Gardner Minshew. They have their backup.
To their backup.
And again, Steichen coached him with the Eagles.
True.
So, like, they have him. The Colts are interesting because it felt like they shed money because that's why they are the only team that seems at least intriguing right now that possibly take Lamar is because they kind of got rid of some contracts and the only kind of big free agents they got Samson Abukum. I mean, he's a solid edge rusher. And they got the wide receiver, Isaiah McKenzie, Buffalo wide receiver. He's shifty. But in total, I think their roster's gotten a lot worse. So that's what I'm worried about with the Colts entering the draft. They need a quarterback, but they also need other positions too. Where on the flip side, I look at the adding of Draymond Jones, Jaron Reed, that gives them some extra pass rush to a pass rush that was already fairly good. So they got more juice. They got Julian Love, the safety, gives them a versatile chess piece in the secondary. And, a big one for fan favorite for Seahawks. He was gone a year with the Rams. Now he's back. Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, I read about that.
Leadership.
Love that.
And he's got some, I think, gas in the tank. I don't know how long, but I guess draft pick wise, because J-Boy, you said you felt the Seahawks should take a quarterback with a fifth pick, or
I'm saying no. I want to see Geno get a little more life in him. And how old is Geno now? We have to check that out. But I think he's worth holding on to.
Okay.
Well, they're holding on to him. He signed a 3-year deal.
But essentially, they can get out of it after a year or two. So,
well, if they get themselves a Levis, and if he's smart enough to catch on to that system, he can sit and just learn. And Geno can do what Geno does.
Geno's 32, older than I thought. So you're probably right on that.
Okay. So I think with the fifth pick, I think they should go Jalen Carter, just because this goes back to Pete Carroll. With the Legion of Boom, the sneaky thing about the Legion of Boom, as great as that secondary was, the Jenga piece of that whole thing was Michael Bennett. So the guy that actually made that defense really top level was Michael Bennett. So Jalen Carter, I know he has some red flags, but if he is able to play, I think he's the guy that puts them over the top. And thinking about this too, Pete Carroll, the thorn in his side this whole time he's been with the Seahawks the last few years is Aaron Donald. If they can get a Jalen Carter who can be their Aaron Donald, it'll be a big boom to them going forward against the 49ers and the other two teams that just seem like they're dust in the wind right now. And I think the Colts, if with maybe their second round pick, I would like for them to draft Zay Flowers, Boston College wide receiver. He's just explosive. It'll give whoever they take, if it's Richardson, Levis, it gives them just a young weapon to build alongside. So, and the last question for both: should they trade back?
No on both. I say no. They both need pretty significant help. So I say, go for it, boys.
Yep.
Yeah, and they already know what their plans are. I mean, at this point, if they don't, then they're being derelict in their duty, or Say is lost his mind again.
Yeah.
Again.
I was just say, for different reasons, yeah, Seahawks shouldn't trade back because their roster is already fairly good. I mean, they made the playoffs last year. They made some really good free agency moves this year. They're going to get a great player with number 5 pick. They need to take it. And also, because of that Broncos trade, they already have a plethora of picks in this year's draft. So, and Colts shouldn't trade because they need to take a quarterback. And if, let's say, their top 3 quarterbacks are taken, the only reason they should trade out is, again, to trade out for maybe to hopefully get, Caleb Williams or Drake May next year. That's the only reason they should trade back. And hopefully that's not going to happen.
And I still think the dark horse quarterback-wise in this draft is Duggan. I think he has the body, he has the skill. It's just
That's where you dipped out. You're his shadow agent. That's why you dipped out for a bit. You were calling around other teams.
Yeah, I had to make that phone call, man.
Working the magic behind the scenes on the phone. Duggan, where are you, Duggan? I'm talking about.
I just like the kid. I don't know why. I was impressed with him. So, by the way, apropos of nothing, Alabama is going to be in Lexington coming up this fall. So everybody get your tickets.
Do you think we should do a remote broadcast from?
I think we should.
Field?
We should tailgate from the stadium, whatever the name of the stadium is now, Kroger Field.
Kroger Field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
It's a nice stadium.
It's nice. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, speaking of the Wildcats, on Pro Day, didn't Levis have some challenges with getting throws to the right place? Did I see that? It was not the best of days for him.
But people lined up to see his arm. I mean, it is impressive to watch the man whip that ball.
About 60, 70 yards in the air?
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all I remember from the pro day was guys talking about the fact that he puts mayonnaise in his coffee and eats the peel and the banana all in one swoop, It was like they had to find something to talk about. So
what? Man eats the peel and the banana? Did I miss something here?
Yeah, all at one time. Yeah.
Well, different things. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee, and he eats the banana with the peel.
Yeah.
Not liking that, either one. How about you guys?
Hey, the man's system's got it with the banana with the peel. That's got to clean your system. So the man is, he's regular, shall we say.
That'll clean out your system, says Luck. Okay, let's skip for a second. Name something unusual you eat, Lugs or T-Dog. What, something not unusual, but, wouldn't expect that. Anything? Peanut butter and mayonnaise, fluffernutty.
Well, as far as peanut butter, I love peanut butter. I mean, peanut butter banana sandwiches. I don't like them fried, but it's not unusual really. But I like them.
I like peanut butter on bananas. I like that too. Yeah, not in a sandwich though. Just put it on the banana. How about you, T-Dog? Anything?
I don't think anything too unusual. I mean, I'll put some honey and cinnamon and blueberries and oatmeal, and I use coconut milk. I don't know if that counts as.
Are you part Hawaiian or something? And we didn't know it? You got to climb the tree to get the coconut.
Yes, I eat a lot of Spam.
You were on Survivor season 32. I remember, and you were. Never mind. Okay, so let's move on. The owners' meeting. Goodell pushed for flexing Thursday games. What do you make of that?
Well, they want the best game possible, and you can't blame them. I mean,
for prime,
whatever you think of Goodell and all of his baggage, they've built this thing. I mean, it's massive. It really is. So
they built this city on rock and roll, I think, is what you meant to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So the flex, if it would have gone down, it was voted down this year. But it sounds like it's going to happen eventually. If not next year, then the year after or the year after that. It'll be weeks 14 through 17. The teams would be given 15 days notice. It ended up going to, when it went to vote, 22 teams said yes, 8 said no, 2 abstained. And kind of like what you all hit on, Amazon, we just finished year 1 of their 11-year, which, by the way, what a weird contractual 11-year, right? Why wasn't it 10 or why wasn't it 15? It was 11.
11 year
but it was
contract.
11 years for $11 billion. So pretty easy to do the math per year on that one. But they did vote kind of on the back end of that. They did vote that teams can play more than one Thursday night game a year. So that was voted 29-3.
Okay, but wait. Al Michaels would be like 107 when that contract matures, man. I mean, wow. That's bold.
Hey, they know that it'll be worth much, much more in 10 years.
True. Yeah, you're always hedging that bet. Okay, and
Yeah.
T-Dog, you mentioned, and I've seen this too, and especially at Major League Baseball parks, sports books at ballparks or stadiums. It's very common. They're sometimes right on the grounds or right across the street. Fellas, I
Yes.
remember a time you couldn't even make a phone call at a racetrack. Do you remember those days? Lugs? To your
Well,
bookie?
I mean, let's go ahead and walk on hell frozen over.
What
You,
happened?
Kentucky passed sports betting and medicinal marijuana. I mean, seriously, you can have a marijuana stand at your sports book. I mean, what more do you need in life, really?
Bourbon, marijuana, sports. Okay, we got it covered, book. We got it. All right.
I thought it was just really interesting because of kind of what J Boy talked about. It's just kind of like just weird now that it used to be. Also still Pete Rose is in the Hall of Fame,
Right.
but now you can bet literally on the games
Right.
inside. It's they voted to allow physically it to be inside the stadiums if teams want it. The other part that I thought was interesting is there'll be revenue sharing on it, but there'll be a certain threshold, so it'll have to be an overflow. Like it'd have to hit like $20 million at that stadium, and then anything after $20 million would be distributed to the other teams. The main reason being, sports betting is only legal currently in 33 states, and only 17 franchises fall within that area. So California, Texas, and Florida still don't allow it. So
Won't happen. At
and
least
the
not
other
now.
caveat was sportsbook sponsorship, which
Hello? Is anybody there?
Well, and I saw a stat that said that when a person,
yeah.
hello,
Hello. Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes.
Thank you, Lionel
Well, I
Richie,
just-
line 2. Lionel Richie, line 2.
I just saw this stat that said if a person makes a bet on a game, they're 98% likely to watch it on TV. So the TV guys are going to love that. It's a guaranteed viewership. So
And in
plus, we're making Jerry Jones money because he owns the major part of DraftKings, I think, right? It's DraftKings or one of the betting services.
And in the
I don't know.
The Mr.
That's
Obvious moment, I think we all realize why the XFL and USFL are back. It's nothing about anybody being in the stands or where they play the games or even if they win. It's all about betting. It's all about
Yeah.
prop lines and prop bets and the Battle
Yeah.
Hawks,
Oh, the Battlehawks.
Battle Hawk. Okay, so that's that. How about Lugs? Do you have any sports of yesteryear? I know we missed a week and we're back and better than ever, but are you ready for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we don't have a theme song anymore, so we're just going to say, sports of yesteryear, go Lugs.
All right. 1896, the first modern Summer Olympics opens in Athens, Greece. Athlete James Connolly becomes the first modern Olympic champion when he takes top honors in the triple jump. And 1935, Harlem Globetrotter Harold Bunny Levitt sinks 499 free throw attempts, misses one, then sinks 371 more. Yes, that's right. 1952, 16th U.S. Masters Tournament. I don't know if Jim Nance was there or not. Augusta National. Sam Snead wins his second green jacket. I don't know why they wear those green jackets. They look awful, but hey, what the heck. Anyway, he beat Jack Burt by 4 strokes. 1977, the Seattle Kingdom opens, and the Mariners, first game, they lose to the Angels 7-zip. And 2010, 29th NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. Connecticut beats Stanford 53-47. UConn forward Maya Moore scores 23 points. And that's it for this edition of Sports of Yesteryear.
Well, thank you, Lugs, for that. Okay, the Kingdom. Yes, 1977. Okay, I had a question about that. That's cool. But I want to know, have you guys ever seen the Globetrotters in person? Lugs, anywhere?
Yes. I saw them in actually in California when I was working television out there.
Maybe Meadowlark was Meadowlark on them, Meadowlark Lemon, or any of those classic guys.
No, neither Meadowlark or Curly were there.
Curly Neal,
it was guys, that you'd seen in college, but they were still funny, and they had their bits of dash in the water, and it turns out to be paper.
Yes,
and
I love that. I love that so much.
and the ball and the basketball with the string tied onto it, or the rubber band, and it was just fun, and they were having a blast. So,
how about you, T-Dog? You ever seen the Harlem Globetrotters?
No, I have not. I always wanted to. That also another kind of fascination that as a kid you have, and when you get older, maybe it becomes less so. Is I would never saw monster trucks live at a stadium or anything. So
I've got a monster truck story. My buddy Mike was visiting, and so he wanted to go, and so we go in there. Everybody down to the 2-year-olds has on ear protection. Both of us goofballs, we just kind of wander in. We got nothing. After the first truck, we stuffed napkins in our ears. I'm sure we were lovely to look at, but it was crazy. But yeah, watching a guy, just bang whatever $150,000, $200,000 vehicle to pieces, that was crazy.
Okay, I got two monster truck stories for you. Steele County Free Fair in Minnesota. All right, I took my then 5-year-old nephew to the Demolition Derby and Monster Truck Show. He turned to me toward the end of the outing and said, "Uncle John, this is the best day of my life." Number 2, okay, at another TV station in a previous life, I secured Bigfoot. Remember, that was one of the earliest monster trucks.
That was a huge star,
right?
yeah.
Right?
That's
that was
the man.
And they brought it down from St. Louis, and we parked it out there, man, and people go, whoa. And it really, if you look at it now, it wouldn't even be considered that big, but because it was just a normal Ford body on monster tires. Now they're all, fiberglassed up and look like dinosaurs and stuff. But yeah, I secured Bigfoot for an event. So that's my moment in the sun in the world of monster trucks. All right, that's that nostalgia. Yeah, go ahead, Lugs. Take that.
I was just going to say, dog, you should have brought this up.
What?
WWE joins the UFC. Come on. Will the WWE guys now actually go in and wrestle, or will the UFC guys come into these crazy costumes and stuff? What's going to happen?
What are you talking about? It's already happened. What are you talking about? Brock Lesnar started out as first, to be fair to Brock Lesnar, he was a business-wise. I know. I'll get to that. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Endeavor. But I'm saying what you're talking about, before they were linked, Brock Lesnar, who was I believe, multiple-time NCAA champion, he was brought in to the WWE, I believe in the early 2000s, was a multiple-time champion in WWE, then left for UFC, was solid. I think, I'm not saying he was bad in UFC. He was legitimate, but he made a lot of money because he was a big name from wrestling. It was what it came down to. And then there's been other professional I'm trying to think of some of the names. There have been ones that have actually were started out in mixed martial arts who've done some pro wrestling. They've usually dabbled because, again, the money for UFC or probably professional mixed martial artists is not as good unless you become like a Brock Lesnar level talent. So you're only going to dabble in it. But no, it's a huge win. Though the funniest thing is Endeavor bought UFC, I believe, for I think $3 billion, and they bought WWE for, I believe, around $9 billion. So, take that for what it is, Will. But I mean, we're not even getting into the nefarious thing. How you want to talk about how a guy is able to angle his way into certain things. Vince McMahon, not that we ever got into it. Vince McMahon, he had a lot of transgressions, and that's putting it nicely.
True.
That essentially ousted him from the board of WWE. Now
But they brought him back.
I know. Now that they brought him back, and particularly to help with the sale, now that it has been purchased in Endeavor, he's essentially now back to, again, I don't know what his position is named. He is now back essentially back in power after being ousted from the company literally, I don't think a year ago. So you want to talk about a person that's had literally, I mean, you talk about cats with 9 lives. This man has had over 99 lives.
Well, his skin looks like he's had only a few lives, though. that chemical situation. Hey, Brock Lesnar from our crack research department. He was the 2000 NCAA Division I national champion in wrestling at the University of Minnesota. There you go. That's Brock.
Yep. Actually, his one of his teammates from Minnesota, they actually were, when I'm talking about local, they were trained and developed in OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, that is local to Louisville, Kentucky, and they were known as the Minnesota Stretching Crew, which was an ode to the Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Loving that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
The Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Who was that? Was that Ole and Gene Anderson? Who was that?
Yes, you're right. It was the Andersons. Yep.
Wow. Give 2 points to Lug for the fun fact of the day.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Yep.
Okay, fellas, 36 past the hour at the airport. We show 65 degrees. What else tonight?
I was just going to tie it off with a bow, I guess.
Please.
Just because Lugs brought it up. This Belichick, Robert Kraft, Mac, and Bailey situation. Oh, what an enjoyable saga this will be. This whole season, preseason, season, and postseason. How do you see this devil? I'll just put it. I'll do a little synopsis that I'll let you all get. So when he was asked, Belichick was non-committal on who will be the starter, Jones and Zappi, and I believe PFT reported that Belichick shopped around Mac Jones, and a New England reporter, a well-known reporter, Tom Curran, he reported that Belichick was pissed that Jones was seeking help outside the building to run the Patricia Judge offense. And, now they have Bill O'Brien, which is a big, massive upgrade on Patricia. And again, I'm not even going to hate on Patricia because, like I said, I know I don't like him from what he did as a head coach with the Lions, but he was I put all the blame on Belichick for putting him in a crap position. But Robert Kraft has come out and been non-committal to Belichick about he essentially threw out at the owners meeting they almost have to make the playoffs. And you just look at how that division's stacking up with Josh Allen, with all the big moves that Dolphins made. And if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers,
no chance.
It's going to be hard. So it's two-pronged. Who's their starting quarterback? And is this the last year of Bill Belichick with the New England Patriots?
Starting quarterback, I would say that it will still be Mac Jones. I like Zappi. I like him a lot. But I think, when you look at Mac Jones' numbers, they're not that bad. Especially the first year. And I think I read some stats. He's thrown, in his 3 years, he's thrown to 19 different receivers, no 1,000-yarders anywhere. They're all like journeyman receivers. He's had no receivers, had really no running backs. Had probably the worst tight ends in the league. You can't blame him for being a little miffed. And as far as Belichick, oh gosh, I think it's time. I think it's time for Belichick to hang it up. He had a glory run, but now it's Andy Reid's turn to be the big dog, and Belichick ain't coming back. It's over. So he should just cut his losses, ease on out, mumble his way. Bye, 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 bye.
You sound like Bing Crosby there.
And that's it.
Now, see, I'm going with Lugs boy. Zippy Zappy, you call him. Bailey Zappy. Let's go. The pride of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Western Kentucky University. Bailey Zappy will be your starter for your New England Patriots. And you're right, T-Dog. They got no shot. No shot in that division. No. I don't think any 4 teams have ever made the playoffs from one division. Never happened. Won't happen this time. And then Belichick, I say he gets out, rests for 2 years, comes back somewhere else. He'll pull that deal like Bill Walsh did, like some others did.
But in 2 years, he'll be like 80 years old.
Hey.
won't he?
No, he's 70. I mean, to be fair to your point, he is.
Marv Levy.
Yeah.
Bruce Bochy in baseball, he left out for 3 years. He's back. That's what I'm saying.
But I definitely agree with J Boy. If he does get the boot, I mean, he's coming back. He is a big into football history and
All
he's
those
30
books.
away.
Remember all those books.
He's 30 away from having the all-time wins record.
Right.
So like he's locked in on that. I'm kind of with Lugs. It's not that I even dislike Zappy. I just think like where you got Jones, and again, maybe I was never the biggest fan. I think Jones is good. Kind of like what Lugs brought up. I thought he played well as a rookie. And again, I know it's easy to crap on Patricia. I mean, Patricia and Mac Jones were put in a bad position last year, and it was Belichick's fault. So, they added Juju and they added Gesicki. Again, not the most sexy of weapons, but I think they do add something to it. And it's kind of weird. I wonder when he became available to trade, because I'll ask you all this too, the bonus question. Because of his relationship with at least 1 year Josh McDaniels, wouldn't you all rather have Mac Jones than Jimmy Garoppolo?
Heck yeah.
No.
Really?
No.
Yeah, heck yeah.
No, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's good eye candy. He brings the ladies to the table.
But wait a minute. Belichick went down that path, man, and no, he's not coming.
Well, Belichick, he wanted Garoppolo. That was his heir apparent to Brady. But I don't know. I guess it was Kraft that nixed it. Who knows?
Yes, it was essentially. I think I want to give credit to Seth Wickersham. I believe of ESPN. I don't know if he still is.
He broke
at
that.
the time. He reported that. Belichick was definitely eyeing Garoppolo. But that's the thing. They could have signed Garoppolo and they could have traded Mac Jones. It's not that I dislike Jimmy Garoppolo. It's like Zappy. If we're doing how I want to stack them from here on out in terms of their future, I'd want to have Mac Jones and almost Jimmy Garoppolo and Zappy at the same spot. It's not that I dislike Jimmy Garoppolo. It's just he's so injury prone that I don't know. I'd rather have him.
Man can't play a full season.
They backed themselves up real well with Brian Hoyer.
Jeez.
Hey, wait, Josh McCown's available. Wait.
Well, actually, funny enough, Brian Hoyer was kicked out essentially because, again, this whole kerfuffle with Patricia. It was reported that he also was like, "This is horse crap." Well, like, what the hell are we doing on
horse
offense?
Hockey.
And he was talking out of turn, and they're just like, "Get the hell out of here, Brian Hoyer! You wouldn't even be in this league the last 4 years if it wasn't for us." So,
yeah.
The last bonus question, just because Lug said it to introduce him. Billy Zappi, he said he's a nice young man.
Bailey Zappi.
Bailey Zappi, sorry. But usually when you say he's a nice young man, you also say this. But is he a lovely dancer?
Whoa, okay. Maybe so. I've not seen him on the dance floor, but I've seen some moves on the field that said the man could boogaloo.
Okay. I'm just saying, you said it multiple times. I think Daniel Jones. That's like, I don't know how much video you have of him on the dance floor. This man really loves Daniel Jones.
He had a good dick I could dance to it.
He's a Duke guy, so you know that he can ballroom dance.
What does that even mean? Like a southern what?
Cotillion.
Cotillion, that's the word.
Yeah.
Have we worn this one out tonight? I'm pretty sure we have. Let's call
like
it
a bad pair of shoes.
Yeah, this has been Sports and Other Stuff, brought to you in part by Austin Chiropractic. Remember those 5 most dangerous words? We've all said them. Maybe it will go away. Stop in and ask for our guy. He's there tonight.
Oh, our man Fish. Since country music legend Merle Haggard was born April 6th in 1937, Fish is celebrating all things Okie, as in Okie from Muskogee. Come on down this Saturday at 1 p.m. Enjoy a variety show by local country acts who will perform Merle songs from The Fighting Side of Me to Poncho and Lefty, which was recorded with his good friend Willie Nelson. Come on down, enjoy the music along with barbecue from Joe Bowman's Rib Shack. Entry is a canned good and a howdy, hi there, ho there, neighbor. So see you there.
Thanks for watching and listening to Sports and Other Stuff. Remember, if you have 25 cents under your hat, you probably have secret headquarters. That's a horrible one, isn't it? It's good enough to keep you until next time. So long for now. Bye-bye.